It's an impossible transition. You go through this day, which is literally, it's hard to breathe. It's really hard to breathe if you think about it. Think about, in this case, he's done 3.5 years, got 3.5 years to go. Got this other one that's just getting home probably right now from this Yibush, which either he got into or he didn't get into, we'll find out eventually, but he wants it more than all of you guys who are waiting to know what you're doing next year. He wants it more than that. So we can get into a more dangerous thing. So he'll do it for about how many years? So the transition from this day in which you can't breathe, I can't breathe, I don't know what that is, to then you Yom HaAtzmaut, you go to shul, sing, the whole shul's decorated with flags, people do Shir HaMa'alot to the tune of HaTikva. You're probably aware that there was a debate in the early days of the state, right before the state, whether the anthem should be HaTikva or Shir HaMa'alot. There was some discussion that actually Shir HaMa'alot, which you know from your Birkat HaMazon, some of you, was actually, should have been the anthem, some people say. So in order to kind of have your cake and eat it too, we do that in the davening court. The kibbutz of that says you should do it that. That's tomorrow night. But the phrase, the pasuk in the Tanakh of moving miyagon l'simcha, of moving from utter agony to joy, that's also part of the challenge. It's not an accident that Yom HaZikaron comes right before Yom HaAtzmaut. You don't get to sort of ease out of it. You get punched out of it. You've been on the verge of tears for 24 hours. You can't really think. You can't really read. You can't really talk. There's a lot of things you just can't bring yourself to do. And then boom, Ma'ariv comes tomorrow night, you go to shul, it's decorated in blue and white, and people are singing, and some shuls do Hallel, and in the morning everybody does Hallel, and 5 Jews will argue about whether you should do with a bracha or without a bracha, which seems to me to be interesting. I forgot, in American it sounds to be non-judgmental. It's very interesting. But, okay. Now why not give me a few days? Give me some time. And the point of this is, I think you don't need time. You shouldn't need time. Because these kids didn't just die. Unlike what we were memorializing a week ago, they actually gave their lives for a purpose. They gave their lives to create what you and I now take completely for granted. This country. Which, in my estimation, is the reason that there's a Jewish people the way that you know it. If Jews walk around Golders Green on Shabbat afternoon with an absolute sense of, well, this is how you do it. Jews did not walk around Golders Green that way in 1960. And in 1965, they did not shut down West End Avenue so people from Anshe Chesed could dance with Torahs in the middle of West End Avenue on Simchat Torah. And when I was at Columbia, shortly after the Civil War, right? Well, for you, actually, you're laughing, but you actually, if I told you the date, you would say it wasn't after the Civil War. It was actually after the Civil War, but by more than you think. But in any event, when I was in Columbia, you didn't then walk into some Wall Street firm wearing a kippah and saying, by the way, there's 42 days during September that I don't work, and I leave at 10 in the morning on Friday, and I don't eat at the picnic, and you didn't do that. You kind of just... I mean, in AIPAC's National Policy Conference, where I wasn't at, but this last, 9,000 people attended the steps of Capitol Hill on that day to go talk to their congressmen, congresswomen, senators, whoever. How many Jews actually went up the steps of Capitol Hill between 1938 and 1945? When Auschwitz, at its most productive, was sending more Jews up chimneys in a single, this is not an exaggeration, this is a fact. As my grandmother, would have said, das ist nicht nur emes, das ist a fact. Right? It's not just emes, this is a fact. And when she said fact, F-E-C-T, having come from the Ukraine, she meant fact. Right? Das ist not just emes, this is a fact. In other words, there were more Jews killed in Auschwitz in one day and vaporized than all the people on both sides of the Arab-Israeli conflict since its inception. And at that time, how many Jews went to Capitol Hill? How many busloads of the millions of Jews who were living in America, and as Deborah Lipstadt has proved beyond the shadow of a doubt, knew without question what was going on? Well, we didn't have all the videos, it's true. We didn't have all the testimony, that's true. It was in the New York Times. How many Jews went to demand that Roosevelt drop a bomb on a track to a camp? How many Jews went and said, open up the damn shores? Nobody lives between New York and Los Angeles. put them there. How many people said that? I know Milwaukee, I'm sorry. But seriously, how many people went there? Nobody. There was 400 rabbis in the famous rabbinic march on Washington. 400, by the way, almost exclusively Orthodox rabbis, when Orthodox rabbis were a tiny percentage of rabbis in America. And I say that as a person who did not get Orthodox smicha. The sense of entitlement in the best sense of that word, the sense of confidence, the sense of belonging that the Jews of Melbourne and Sydney had, and the Jews of London had, and that the Jews of Milwaukee and Florida and New York and Los Angeles and wherever else have. And that brings Jews in Germany to be the fastest growing Jewish community in the world right now. That has a handful of Jews in Krakow doing klezmer festivals again. That got the Soviet Jews who for a long time had been prisoner and had not rattled the cage to rattle the cage. What made all of that difference was this place. You, God forbid, lose this place, you go back to a very, very different world that you can't even begin to imagine.